Welcome to the RSP Boiler Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. We're going to look at Tyquan Thornton, the Baylor wide receiver, top of the screen. Catch this back shoulder fade for a touchdown. And there's some contact, and he's able to get 1 foot in bounds. We're going to take a look at it one more time here from the end zone view. And we're going to focus a lot on the catch point and the positioning on the catch point today. We're not going to pay attention to the release so much. We're going to look at what he does pretty much from here to the end of the catch. And you can see he's already turning. He's about the 2 or 3 yard line. He's turning back to the defender. The defender overruns this a bit, and he's able to leap straight up and down, which is good. You want to leap straight up and down because if you fade away, it gives the defender a little bit more of an advantage. So he's able to leap straight up and down to attack. He high points the ball. Defender has his hands and body on Thornton, and Thornton's able to maintain concentration, and he's able to tap 1 foot in bounds and maintain possession as the defender then shoots his hand here. And you can see that Thornton even lifts his hands up to get the ball away from the shot by the defender, and he still maintains possession. It's a very good job here by Thornton to maintain focus and to be able to adjust a little bit here by lifting the ball away right there and then turning as the defender shoots through. But here's the thing. If we're going to project to the NFL, we need to look at what a defender would normally do in this situation and what a receiver needs to do in order to defend it. So when we watch this play, you're going to see there's a 3-step release at the top, 3 steps, and then a stick. And then he's going to try and give the swat with the outside arm. The defender jams him in the inside pectoral, and that prevents Thornton from being able to bring the inside arm over on the swim. So he's trying to swat and swim combination off of this stick move. Swat, swim, gets disrupted. So he doesn't get separation early. The defender's on top of him here. Now you could argue that maybe Thornton is somehow setting up the defender because this is going to be a back shoulder play instead of a corner fade, and the defender's defending the corner fade. But, that's kind of an iffy situation that we'd have to talk more about down the line here. We'd have to watch more film, talk to the coaching staff to see if that's something that's coached up on these plays, or whether it's simply a back shoulder all the way, or whether the quarterback is looking at the position and determining whether it's going to be back shoulder or it's going to be a deep fade. Now, I'd have to say that's definitely not the case here, because if the receiver has to know, either based on position of the corner and be on the same page with the quarterback to determine whether he's going to run to the back corner or whether he's going to be doing back shoulder to the front pylon. That may be possible, but again, you have to talk to the coaches to understand whether that's taught or not. Now, what we do know is that he looks back for the ball, and he sees the ball in the air right here. And at the 5, he begins to actually open up his hips at the 5. Now, with a NFL cornerback and a cornerback seeing the receiver open his hips like this, he's going to stay tighter, and he's going to be in a better position here, especially right here. He's going to slow down a little bit more and be able to play this ball, especially how much the receiver telegraphs that he's turning back for the ball right here. You don't want to turn back for the ball this early. You want to wait until at least at the goal line to begin your turn. He's already fully turned. That gives an NFL defender room to play the ball, not just the man. But the defender here at Iowa State, he plays the man first because he's out of position. He doesn't really grasp that the receiver's telegraphing this as well as he should have and been able to take action. And as a result, he plays the man first, then gets his hands up, and then tries to shoot through with the hand one last time as he forces the receiver out. And it's all just kind of late here. The receiver's actually fortunate he's not playing an NFL defender, because this would either be intercepted, knocked away before it even arrives in his hands, or at the very worst, it would be knocked out of his hands. But the defender shoots, basically gets the shoulder onto to the side of the receiver first, and then tries to shoot his hands when he's not high enough, because he's just never in great position. So the receiver here, when you're projecting to the NFL, it's great that he made the catch, and that's a good process thing. I mean, that's a good end result thing. But from a process standpoint, he telegraphed his move. And that allowed the defender to make, even at the worst case scenario, it allowed the defender to be able to hit him at the catch point and only allow 1 foot in bounds. So if you're projecting for the NFL, the receiver didn't even make the catch. if you were going by the NFL rules. And it's because he telegraphed this. If he doesn't telegraph it, he's going to have more room. The defender might overrun it. He'd probably be able to get 2 feet in bounds. The defender won't be able to make a play on the ball. Now, if the defender is pretty good, which many of them are in the NFL, what he's going to need to do is if he makes his turn later, if he's still like running downfield at this point, and you can see where the ball is, if he begins his turn here, the defender has a shot to overrun it, and even if the defender's tight, when Thornton makes his leap, he needs to leap up, straight up like he does, but also put a little bit on it so that he can begin to turn through the catch point so that his back winds up to the defender as he's high pointing it. And so as a result of that, the defender can't shoot his arm through to attack this ball. And that also allows the receiver, when he catches it, to see where he's trying to dot his feet and drag his feet as well. So there's a lot that Thornton can do better on this particular play when you're judging by a process standard. Because telegraphing this prevents him from being able to have the advantage of the position he needs. And because he jumps straight up and down facing the defender, he doesn't have a chance to defend, use his back to defend the ball from the defender's reach. So he needs to be able to jump up and through, but turn through the catch point to get his back to the defender. These are things he needs to work on. So when I watch this, you may watch this and go, this is a great play. He high points, he takes contact, that's good. But when you start watching NFL film and look at all the little techniques that receivers make on back shoulder fades, you can see that there's a lot of room for improvement here for Tyquan Thornton. And there are things that he can learn, but there are things that he's going to have to work on pretty early because he's not going to be able to make catches like this in the NFL on a regular basis against starting NFL corners, especially when he starts working out against them in camp.
Now that we've thoroughly analyzed some negatives or flaws out of a positive result, let's take a look at a negative result and talk about some positives because, again, we're looking at process over results. And this is a play where, Thornton works inside, works back outside on a scramble drill, has to make a diving attempt on a throw, and just can't bring it down. But you see here, he works into the zone. He tries to find the soft spot and come back towards the open area here to try and get past this underneath coverage. Sees the quarterback start to peel outside, flush to the right, and then immediately goes to the sideline to help out. So he does a great job there. Shows that he's understands what's going on with his quarterback and working with him. But let's talk about the catch point here. This is a ball that goes off his hands. So we're going to take a look at it from this point of view. You're going to see him work into the screen and right back out up at the top corner where my cursor is circling. And you see him open here, and here comes the ball. This ball is wide of the frame. And you can see that I would not say that he drops this ball. I would say that this ball is too high and too wide for Thornton to realistically catch. But he gets his fingertips on the ball. But what I love about this play is look how tight his hands are. See how that when he gets his hands up, that and arms extended, that the hands are together meeting the ball. There's no potential for him to clap onto the ball if the ball were lower. He brings them up in unison. They're in a tight position. This could be a fingertip style catch if the ball were in the right position. So this is an example where you look at him and go, listen, despite the bad result or a result that wasn't positive, the process to try and catch this ball with the hands close together like that, that's what you want to see. We're going to take a look at a positive result with some positive process that involves these hands in a quick second here. And it's something that he does routinely with targets that are away from his frame, oftentimes against his break point, where I think Tyquan Thornton really shines. And this is the play later in the game. You're going to see Thornton at the top of the screen. He's going to run a slant. And he has a double swipe. Gets both arms out, swipes past, gets inside. Quarterback just has to lead the receiver downhill, but he's probably a little bit worried about this official right here. So he ends up not throwing it exactly where it needs to be, and it goes inside. So now Thornton has to turn back into his break, against his break path with the trailing defender there to extend for this ball. And look how he does. Look where his hands are. I mean, it's hard to see for some of you because it's white gloves on white lettering of the Horned Frogs logo here. But you're going to see it in a minute here how he's able to really secure this ball and pull it away from the defender. Let's take a look at it from the other point of view, the other perspective, and this is where you can really see what I'm talking about with the process here. Look at the hands come up and they meet that ball. The fact that his hands are close together, not wide apart, he doesn't have to clap onto the ball. He meets them with his fingertips because when he brings his arms out, his hands are together. A lot of pro receivers have difficulty doing this, but Tyquan Thornton shines in this area. This is an area where he makes a lot of catches of targets that are away from his break path and basically behind his break path where he has to make these types of adjustments. And it gives him an opportunity, too, to control the ball quickly, and it allows him to pull the ball away from the reach of the defender. So while I show you a play, at first where he doesn't turn and turn his back away from a defender on a back shoulder play and maybe he tips off the route a little bit, this is an excellent display, and he's very good at the catch point this way. Let's see if this ball was tipped. That's something that it looks like this ball might have been tipped too, so he even does it on a knuckleball, which is even more impressive because it gives you the understanding that he can make the adjustment on a bad ball. And a wobbly throw like that on a slant going against the grain of his break with a defender reaching for it, that's why that process is so important. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP Boiler Room videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, Matt Waldman RSP Film Room, and my site, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.